everybody, today's a video on my new series where we do overviews of the XR series mixers. We're going to look specifically at the XR Edit software and talk about everything in specific tabs so that you know what you're looking at any given time. And we're going to start doing that right now. Let's go! So today we're going to look at the EQ tab, and let's just jump right into it. Like our other tabs, we have our channel label here, which we can right click and change the name. I'm going to say Mic 1. I also could have used a pre-selected name, and we can change the color. Today we're going to do this bluey purple on black. So right underneath that, we have our input meter, and just like our other tabs, that is the meter that shows you the amount of level coming in through your channel. So here's my microphone, and if I adjust this main fader on channel 1, it does not change this. The only thing that will change the amount of signal here is if we go to the input and adjust the gain. If I pull this down, it's lower. If I bring it up, it's higher. So this is an indication of the amount of signal coming in through your input. Understanding that, the next thing we're going to do is actually look at the EQ window here. So the first thing you can see, this is your low cut, which we'll talk about in a second. Then you have 4 separate parametric bands that you can adjust. These are all labeled down here, and we'll step through all of it. So first we have, in the button section, our EQ button, which is literally an on and an off. So if I make a quick adjustment here with it on, highlighted blue means on, you can see that we're seeing color in our adjustments here. If I turn it off, grayed out. So if you see it grayed out, you know that it's not on. The next thing we have is our reset button. Again, if I make adjustments and I want to go back to the beginning, I can hit reset. But what we're going to do is just turn this on because I want you to see something. Reset. So that reset everything except our low cut. And here is our low cut, also called our high pass. This is where you turn it on and off, and right here indicates what frequency you have it set at. So you can pull this up to 400, that's as far as this one will go, and you can drag it down so that it's not really affecting anything. But if you use the reset button to reset your EQ, it does not reset the low cut. These are separate parameters that can be adjusted independently. You can have your EQ off, but your low cut will still be on and active unless you turn it off by clicking this button. So let's turn our EQ on. The next thing we see here is our low mid, our high mid, and our high. So that represents these 4 sections here that we can adjust. Underneath the names, we have the mode, which we'll talk about in a second. Then we have gain, which is the amount of boost. You can see this is a plus dB gain, or for a cut, it's a minus dB. So that's your gain up and down, which is how much you are affecting the volume or the amplitude of the signal. Then you have your frequency, which is literally the frequency you are targeting on your frequency spectrum here. So you can see right now it's at 85 Hertz, and if I pull it up, the frequency goes up. And this being low, we would generally use it in this sort of area. You can overlap it into your low mids. In fact, you could actually drag this up and use it anywhere, but generally you're probably going to keep it in this low range here, low to low mid, depending on what you're trying to do. And then quality, or Q, is the width of what we are trying to affect. It's our bandwidth here. So you can see if I drag this quality fader, the Q fader, up and down, it makes our bandwidth either wider or narrower. So it allows us to really target specific frequencies, or if we want to, hit our target frequency but really affect the immediate neighboring frequencies around our target frequency. So all of that is the same for all of these. And you can come over here and you can drag stuff with your mouse. Obviously you can drag your gain up and down, you can drag your frequency side to side, but what if you want to affect the Q? Well, if you hold Control and drag up and down, that will also affect your Q. So you can do everything right here, or you can use these sliders over here to affect those parameters. So again, all of that is the same. It's identical for these 4 sections here. So now let's talk about mode. You'll notice that these first 3 are set to PEQ, which is parametric EQ by default, and this one is set to high shelf. Our options in here are low cut. So that's the same as this low cut here. It's a slightly different slope. So let's just turn that one off for a second, move it. Oops. Let's put it back to PEQ and just move it out of the way. So if we look at our low cut, so that's a fairly aggressive slope, where if we turn this one into a low cut, it's slightly less aggressive. Just gives you some different options if you want to hit your low cut in a different way. Because whenever you're using a low cut, you cannot adjust the Q. The slope, that's it. That's what you get. So if you want a slightly less aggressive slope, you can use the low cut in one of your 4 bands here. Or if you want a more aggressive slope, then you're going to use just the built-in low cut. So again, we have low cut, we have low shelf, which literally creates a shelf. Let's just pull this out of the way. So what you have is you have a slight tapering from your target frequency to everything below it, and then it flattens out and becomes a shelf. So it affects everything after it at the same gain. So that's a low shelf. Then, of course, our PEQ, which is just our regular parametric EQ. And then after that, we have VEQ, which stands for vintage EQ. And maybe you saw that difference right there. This is the immediate difference between PEQ and VEQ, VEQ being vintage. Look at our quality here. Our Q is set to 5. And right now, we're on VEQ, our vintage EQ. If I switch this back to PEQ, watch what happens to that Q. Boom. Same Q setting, but a more narrow tapering of the bandwidth here. So that's the immediate distinction between your parametric and your vintage EQ. They are going to sound a little bit different. If you want to really narrow, if you really want to focus on a specific frequency with very little effect on the frequencies next to it, PEQ is going to allow you to get a little bit more narrow. This is the most narrow Q we have, and if I switch this back to VEQ, see, it's not nearly as narrow. There are other things going on under the hood, but that is the immediate difference and probably the thing that you are going to notice as you change your EQs with either the PEQ or the VEQ. The next thing we have is our high shelf, opposite of a low shelf. Again, it tapers a little bit smoothly and then it hits a flat where it just, everything above that taper is hit with the same gain for either your boost or your cut. And then after high shelf, you have a high cut, which is the opposite of a low cut. So we can pull this along and get rid of all the high frequencies we want. So a low cut is also, a high cut is also called a low pass. So you can see it's just the opposite of the low cut. There you go. And put this back to PEQ. So these modes are the exact same for all 4 of these sections that you can adjust. Now, you'll notice there's little power buttons here as well. So in theory, you can turn each one on and off. Now, if I reset this, I can't turn them on and off because they're at default. It just doesn't let you. But as soon as you make an adjustment, you can now turn each one on and off. So you can have some bands on, some bands off. And actually, what is really cool about this is if you want to make sure that you're actually adjusting things the way you think you are, you can make an adjustment and then quickly turn that one parameter on and off to see if it's actually functioning the way you think it is. So just a little bit easier than turning the whole EQ on and off. You can actually target that specific setting you've made to see if it's adjusting the way you think that it is. So that covers this main window here. And then that brings us over here to the RTA. So RTA is a real-time analyzer. And if I turn this on, you now see all the audio information that's happening across the spectrum for this channel. Now, we have a couple of options here. You can see that I have a pre button. So right now, this is set to post, and that means post EQ. So anything you see in the background here, if I make an adjustment, you will see that adjustment reflected in the frequencies behind here. So let's just look here, sort of right here. You can see I have a very specific amplitude happening. If I pull this down, that amplitude has decreased, right? If I pull it back up, the amplitude comes back up. And so obviously pre means it's going to show the information here before the EQ. So you will still be affecting the signal, but the information in the background will show as original. So we've pulled the amplitude down right around here, and I'm going to click pre so that you can see it brings the amplitude back up. There it is. Amplitude is high, and now I'm going to turn it back to post, and you'll see the amplitude drop. So post, by default for the RTA, shows you what's happening to your frequencies after your adjustments. Pre shows you the information before your adjustments. So those can both be helpful depending on what you're trying to figure out or what you want to see. The next button we have here is spec, which is for spectrograph. So this lays out the same audio information but in a different way. So basically what you're seeing on the vertical axis here is you are seeing the frequency that you are where you have information, and then you'll notice there's colors in here. I know it's probably a little bit hard to see as this is dim even on my screen, but you have a blue color, a green color, you hit some yellows or oranges, and then red. So blue is the least amount of amplitude, red is the most amount of amplitude, and anything in between gives you an idea of how much energy is in anything you're looking at here. And the pre and the post works the same way as it does for the regular RTA. So right now it's in post. So if I make an adjustment, let's go right here. You can see there's quite a bit of red, so high amplitude information around here. So if I pull this down, you are going to notice that we lose amplitude right here. Most of that amplitude is gone. And if I click to pre, we are going to see that the amplitude is back. We're still making our adjustments, so our outbound signal will have our adjustments, but you still have the visual information of how much amplitude is in the original signal. So there's only a couple more things to look at here, and number one is this output meter, which, similar to the other tabs we've already discussed in this series, this is now your output. So while this meter shows you the input signal of your instrument or your microphone, this is representative of the output going to your mix. Now you'll notice that this one's slightly higher than the input, even though we don't have much going on here, and that's because of this fader position. This is a way for us to take that original signal and amplify it out to our mix. So let's get it sitting at roughly the same level here. That's pretty close. And now you'll see if I make adjustments here, let's turn the RTA off. If I make some adjustments here, it is going to affect our output signal. So let me turn this high one into a high cut. And I'm going to pull this across, and you'll notice that it really affects the output signal. I've removed almost all usable signal from this chain, which means in our mix, we are now hearing almost nothing from this input. Okay, let's just turn this up really quickly. I want you to hear some of this EQ working, just in case you've never touched this before. So again, with this at high cut, I'm going to cut all the high information and all the mid and low information, and now it's really just like really low and sub frequencies that are coming through, which of course we can't hear. And then I'm going to pull this back up. Let's adjust that volume just a little bit, and then we'll do it the other way. I'll pull this low cut all the way across, and we'll start to lose low information, and then we'll just have some mid and high information. Let's pull some of this down. Check, 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 check. And you can hear that being affected by my changes here. Check 1, 2, check, 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 check. There you go, just a quick live demonstration for those who have not touched this EQ before. And then the very last thing we have to talk about is this label here, which says PEQ. Why are we seeing that? Well, that is just to tell us that what we're seeing here is a parametric EQ. Why would it tell us that? Because it seems like that's the only choice we have. And correct, that is the only choice we have. But if we have a really quick look over here at our master bus fader, so our main left right, if I select this, while I'm in the EQ tab, we now have choices. We have a parametric EQ, we have a graphic EQ, and we have a true EQ. Now, these two obviously do not apply to our input channels because we don't have them as a selection. But just really quickly, parametric EQ, this is what a parametric looks like, where you can get really granular with stuff, and you can pull this across and affect anything you want in any way you want with any of your adjustable bands. Whereas a graphic EQ gives you every band available that you can adjust independently. And if we pull this down, we are affecting 1K, but if I pull down a little bit on either side, we're now affecting some of the things on either side of our target frequency. So this is where TEQ, or true EQ, comes in. In a GEQ, if I make adjustments like this, there can be sort of a multiplying that happens on either side. So it gives you an exaggerated or unrealistic effect of what's happening with your EQ. You can get some strange and undesirable things happening here, where if you switch to the TEQ, the true EQ, it reduces that to some degree and gives you a more accurate representation of the curve that you are trying to create here. So that's just the really quick difference between your parametric, your graphic, and your true EQ. Again, these not available on your input channels, only on the left, right. I just wanted you to understand why you're seeing this label here. And that is it for the EQ tab. So there you go. Now you know what you're looking at any given time when you have the EQ tab open. So be sure to check out the other videos in this series if you haven't already. They will all be linked down below. Some are already done, some are not. And if they're not, they will be down there as soon as they are. I hope this video was interesting, entertaining, educational, and if it was any of those three things, please be sure to like and share and subscribe. You can check us out on Patreon, or you can even join the channel or do a super thanks down below if you think that anything we do here is useful to you. For everybody who's already contributed in those ways, thanks so much. Huge help to the channel. And until we see you next time, thanks for watching here on Quickies. Bye, everybody.